Called meeting to order. It's 5:30 p.m. All those are able, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Leslie, roll call, please.
Mark DePace. Amanda Grubler.
Here.
Kirsten Gustafson. Diana Howard.
Here.
Matthew Macrer.
Here.
Maureen Sheridan.
Here.
And Labona Prova.
All right. Quickly, just going to state, pursuant to Open Meetings Law, Section 104, Paragraph 4, Maureen Sheridan is participating remotely. And I'll make a motion to accept the agenda as presented.
Second.
All in favor? That brings us to personnel agenda. I'll make a motion to approve personnel agenda items A 1 through 5 and B 1 through 11.
Second.
All in favor? I don't believe we have a welcome, do we?
We do have
Oh,
one.
we do have a welcome. All right.
I got a chance to meet Mitch Stern both last week and during new teacher orientation. He is he's going to be an ENL teacher for us, I believe, at the junior high, and he was most recently working at Schenectady High School as an ENL teacher, and he has some roots in Upper Hudson Valley. He did some student teaching in Kingston, but he is very excited to begin his work here, and we're very glad to have him.
Great. Welcome to Mitchell Stern. All right, that brings us to item 4, resolution to authorize the appointment of qualified personnel to employment in the district upon the recommendation of the superintendent. Just to state, this was intended for inter-meeting issues to address openings that are necessary to be filled in the short term. And I'll make a motion to accept the resolution to for superintendent authority to appoint.
Second.
Any discussion?
No, I think I support this. I think that it's important that schools are able to staff as quickly and efficiently as possible to give kids what they need.
Okay. All in favor? Resolution passed. All right, brings us to consensus agenda. I'll just point out the one item in the consensus agenda, item B, Management Advisory Group. This is intended to temporarily fill the treasurer's role in the district. We just accepted a resignation as of September 1st. And so this will be as written, a 3-month arrangement to provide these necessary services to the district. So I'll make a motion to accept consensus agenda items A through D.
Second.
All in favor?
Practicing my courage for this.
All right, so that brings us to old business, which is the vacant board seat. We discussed at the last meeting various options for filling it. There was some board discussion, and this is an opportunity to continue that discussion. Anybody who wants to say anything?
Well, I'll just continue with what I said the last time, is I think that there's just too many things going on in order to have a vote and get nominations and meet the candidates and all of that. So I think that we should go ahead and just appoint someone.
Yeah, I think I feel a little bit torn. I think I hear that, and there's so many things going on, and this is a short-term appointment, right? Because in May, someone would have to get signatures again and do it all over again. I think my one concern or wondering is that the board looks different than it did last spring. The superintendent is different than they were last spring. And so part of my wonder is just like the context of what's happening has changed. And I wonder if opening it up to the like larger community to have input in this moment is important to do. And so I think that's something, regardless of whether or not we do appointments or an election, I think just thinking about what does it look like to make sure that our board is representative of our community.
Yeah, and I would just say that the logistics of bringing together the extra election for the board seat, we did make provision for it with the John L. Edwards sale that we could have a ballot initiative, but I do believe we're not going to be able to pair those two in a timely fashion for the legal requirements for filling a vacancy. So I'm inclined to suggest that the board solicit letters of interest from the community, as has been done in the past, and then we make an appointment at a future meeting. I don't want to set a date on that necessarily, but I think at this point we could request letters of interest in order to start that process. Maureen?
Maureen, do you have anything that you wanted to add?
Sorry, I have it muted because I have background noise here. I feel the same way, Amanda, but I feel that I believe that we can, by opening it up for interested parties to put in, put their name in the hat or the ring, that allows the community to come forward and, community members who are interested to come forward rather than going through the process of an election. So my vote, I guess, would be to appoint someone or to open it up to allow people to express their interest and then appoint one of those.
I don't believe, Leslie, maybe you can correct me, but I don't believe we need to take action at this point to do anything other than to simply solicit interest and communicate that publicly for those who'd like to join the board.
Do we need to vote formally that that's the what we're?
No, you don't have to vote. Can I ask a question, though? How did you do it when I wasn't the board clerk?
We were not here.
I was,
either.
yeah. None of us in attendance
nope,
were
none
on the
of us
board
were
at the
here.
time.
Okay.
Yeah.
When I was board clerk previously, we would get the letters ahead of time
Mhm.
and be reviewed, and then the people would come to the meeting and be interviewed, and then we did like a tally by vote, and then I read out the
Yeah.
results.
Okay.
I wonder if it's helpful. Sorry, this is making like the bubble squeezing out squeaking noise over here. I wonder if similar to how we approach policy committee with some like prompting questions, it would be helpful just to kind of have people be thinking about answering a similar flow of questions in the letter of interest. I
I
don't-
think that's a good idea.
Just to give some structure to what that would look like.
That's a good suggestion, Amanda. I agree.
Okay. All right. So I think then, in general, we're planning to solicit public interest in the vacant board seat, and that we should then present some questions for that. Are there particular questions you have in mind, I guess, at this point, or
Yeah, I'm happy to take a
stab? Okay.
stab at that and then
Okay.
present them back
and then
out.
we'll send the questions out in the notice or.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think we'd like to do that quickly and get the process moving. So, okay.
So let me just get clear on this. You're going to do the questions, or should we all come up with a question? Or
No, I
how-
think we can all suggest questions.
and then do
Yeah.
it together, and then come together and talk about the questions.
I would say let's email me what questions we want to ask, and then I'll coordinate.
And then the letters will come to me. I'll share them out.
Yeah, Leslie will receive them
For-
as district clerk, and
And then what's the process for,
We'll invite them to the meeting, the applicants to the meeting,
and they have an opportunity to answer questions?
to speak, yep.
And then what's the, like, process for how a final decision gets made?
we're gonna have a vote. So I mean, I think it'll happen in public, and I did witness one that occurred. I don't know the whole process that played out, but it was basically just a nomination by seated board members and a vote.
Are
based
we
on
looking at
those
coming up
nominations.
with the questions before the next board meeting, or like
Yes.
what kind of time? So I'll just chime in and say, didn't we have the student council come up with questions for, like maybe we could
Well, they
ask
came up with questions,
Lavona
but
when
yeah.
school starts for some input too.
Yeah. I think if we're going the appointment route, there's actually not like an emergency sense of urgency on this, right? Because I think that there's the time that started, right, from Calvin's departure, but I think like slowing down and making sure we're asking the right questions and that people in the community have like ample time to apply is better than just going as fast as possible. Because I think the urgency was if we were going to go the route of like collecting signatures and then getting on a ballot and then getting the election. If we're going the route of appointment, I think we have a little bit of breathing room to do this thoughtfully rather than just quickly.
Kirsten, do you want to chime in?
Hi, welcome.
It's awkward to come in and make a comment that quickly.
We're
The open
talking
board
about the
seat.
board seat.
Yeah, that much I got. I mean, I talked, I think, about my feelings about it during our last meeting as well. I feel like it's a big commitment and sometimes daunting to folks who are maybe running for, who may consider running for the board. To ask them to do it with so little preparation time and to do it effectively with such a small term of service. It will be a very short time that they're essentially running for because it's only goes through June. I think that's a lot to ask of somebody to do. This is already a demanding thing to add into somebody's life. I'd like to make it accessible to folks who haven't been necessarily preparing for this and going, okay, I heard about this and I'm already starting to figure out where I'm going to go for signatures and doing that prep and considering how they're going to, run a campaign. That's a lot to ask of somebody, when they're not going to be in it very long necessarily.
What's the date again by which what's the,
I believe November 3rd is the 90-day mark.
okay, so I think, yeah, so then I do think we have time to like maybe put together questions and think about the process more and like finalize that at the next board meeting and then solicit. Like, does that feel too slow to others? I think,
Just so you know, if you did decide to go to a vote, Leslie and I went through all the landmarks that we'd have to meet in order to get to the 49 days, and the vote would be on November 13th.
Yeah.
So that new board member, if they were voted in, wouldn't begin until the November 16th meeting.
yep,
So you'd still be within the boundaries of if you decided to vote.
got it, yep.
Yeah, I think I mean the temperature here seems to be for going a vote, and soliciting and coming up with, a process for the appointment. So, I think we can certainly work together to try to come up with what we think those qualifying questions are. Go back to the student council candidate
I love that
forum.
idea.
I understand there is an urgency, but I do think we, should move expeditiously to,
And we don't know
make
how
sure
many
we have a
letters we're
complete
going to get
board.
of interest either. It might be like 1 or 2 people.
Correct.
and,
Correct. So I would just suggest that we at least collect what we think are relevant questions via email this week, and
Can we call that next week since it's Thursday night? This week only gives.
Yes, yes. So, any other thoughts on that?
So when you say student council, you mean have the student council question them?
No. They had during the last campaign season. They had done a candidate forum
Right.
and had asked questions at that time. So
Okay.
it,
So
it seemed like a reasonable.
Potentially using
Starting
some
ground.
of those questions as the
Oh,
prompts.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then if you can't decide at the meeting, you can decide at the next meeting.
Yep. All right. Important meeting dates. September 9th, 2025. Policy committee meeting is here at 5 p.m. In the library. September 16th, 2025. Facilities committee meeting is in the district conference room, 4 to 5 p.m. Also on the 16th, there is a Board of Education meeting in the auditorium at 6 p.m.
Yours.
Matt, I forgot to put, public forum on there.
I was also going to say, Matt, you're so efficient that I missed a little window there. We did not put a resolution to appoint Amy Skiff of the
Oh.
MAG group as the treasurer into the agenda.
Yes.
Because it was contingent on approving
Right.
the contract.
Right.
But the resolution that we created to appoint, because the district needs a treasurer, and our treasurer will be gone in the next week, the appointment is within the window of the contract. It ends on November 30th.
Okay.
And just for your information, the treasurer position is a civil service position. We intend to canvass and see if there's an active list, canvass. And if there's no active list, then we would advertise and someone would be interviewed and hired provisionally until they took the test and they passed the test. There's a benchmark for duration of the time that person would be in that position.
Okay.
And Leslie has that resolution.
Yeah, and thank you for the reminder. So yes, actually, Leslie, I think we should pass that resolution for the appointment, so that we don't have a gap in our treasurer role. So if you could read the resolution for the record and.
Okay. Be it resolved that the Board of Education appoints Amy Skiff to the position of treasurer from September 2nd, 2025 through November 30th, 2025.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution.
Second.
All in favor?
And the only last thing that I'll say, thinking organizationally, there are open positions in the district office that I do not intend to recommend to hire in the next 4 to 6 months, because we need to look at the organization as a whole to make the right decision for how to provide the best service to the staff and the students and community. So in the interim, I may ask to do the same thing, because we have millions of dollars in grants. With Dr. Pricey's departure, there'll be a huge gap in that, and the responsibility is great. And also, we know our Dr. JT left in June, so we have not had someone in the CNI position. So I may bring forward recommendation that we have someone for a few months while we consider what is best for the organization before we commit to a long-term person.
Okay. Thank you for that. All right. So,
Do we want to do public forum?
we can have public forum. Let's see. So it was not on the agenda, but we can invite public forum if anyone would like to speak or sign up.
We have Jack Hornicle.
Oh, I'm sorry, and one last thing, I'm
Yeah.
so sorry. Mitch entered the room
Oh.
after we got through his introduction, so I wanted to introduce Mitch Stern, our new ENL teacher. Welcome, sorry
Welcome.
about that.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm gonna stop now.
All right. Leslie, do you have the normal?
Yeah. The Board of Education recognizes that it serves the residents of the Hudson City School District. So we encourage public attendance at our meetings, and we also welcome your commitments. Residents, students, employees, and business representatives of the Hudson City School District may address the board on matters concerning programs and/or operations of the districts other than matters involving personnel. Members of the board do not directly respond to citizens citizen concerns during public forum. If a response is appropriate, either the president or the superintendent will contact the individual in the near future. Those persons wishing to address the board will be recognized by the chair of the meeting and should state for the record their name and address or affiliation with a district or business. While the board does not wish to infringe upon free speech protection, it must be stressed that the public forum is not deemed to be an open forum. The board president will conduct the forum for the orderly and efficient operation of board business. In addition, any remarks may be considered defamatory or stigmatizing are prohibited and will be declared out of order. All comments shall be limited to 3 minutes. If you are unable to finish your remarks during the 3-minute time frame, you can supplement them by submitting a written statement to the board clerk.
All right, Mr. Hornagel?
Hi, my name is Jack, and I live at 224 Mill Street. I have no affiliation with the district other than being a resident of the city of Hudson, and I don't intend to make any defamatory remarks today. And I appreciate that you're willing to listen to us, and there's no need to respond. I'm really just here because my neighbor and I, Josh, came to a meeting, I think it was either in May or June, and we addressed the old constituency of the board, and so we wanted to come again and speak to the new board as organized about the issue that we're facing on Mill Street. There's a development proposed across the street from all of our houses, which we believe will be damaging to the neighborhood in a variety of ways. But specifically, we want to address the school board and highlight the important role that the school board has in resolving this issue. There's a deed restriction in the deed that the land only be used for park purposes. The school transferred this property to the city in 1983 in the context of the Men's City Softball League that had been running since at least the 70s and long into the 80s. And the land still continues to be used for park purposes. The DPW maintains it, mows it as an open field, and just last week there were kids there playing a soccer game, like 4-on-4, like a full-on soccer game. So it still really is used as open space. It's still recognized and used as open space. And that creates a special legal protection called the public trust doctrine. And it requires the owner of the property, the city government, to go through the New York State legislature in order to receive permission from the state legislature to then sell the property for any other use. We explained this to the city government. They moved forward anyway. And just want to highlight that legal status and that history for you all, because we feel that it's important that any development of that property be legal and be pursued conscientiously with an eye towards both its 100-year use as open space and parkland, an eye towards its important ecological function of channeling the flash floodwaters that come down through our little valley. And my message from June, or whenever it was I came here before, was just that the school board consider the 3 surplus properties that it has in the city of Hudson that aren't the school anymore. So John L. is being redeveloped, and I think that project looks outstanding. I'm very impressed by the materials. There's a parcel underneath it which has no development potential and is categorized as kind of a special environmental area because of the floodwaters. And then there's the parcel across the street from us, which has limited development potential because it's downstream from the previous parcel I just mentioned. So I'm really just asking the school board to think about these 3 parcels in context of where they are and what's next to them and the neighborhoods they're in, what ecological function they play, how they position the city in terms of its climate resilience, et cetera. I know the school has many other considerations and important business in front of it, so just appreciate you hearing us out. And if you have any questions or want to speak to us, we're easy to find. We live on a dead-end road, and you're welcome to come down. Thanks.
Thank you. Was anyone else?
Then we have Josh Kidd.
My name's Josh Kipp, and I live at 230 Mill Street. Anything I wanted to say, Jack really touched on already. Again, I've used that field my entire life playing softball, and still to this day use it with my kids and grandkids playing kickball and whatnot. I hate to bring my school into a lawsuit, but the city rushed you know, the city rushed this process, and I'm here to respectfully ask the board to remove the resolution, to withdraw the February 2024 resolution. We think the school board should hold on to the reverter until a responsible and lawful plan is made for the property. Thank you.
I gotta give you your notes. Leslie?
That's it.
Okay. All right. I've done important meeting dates. We have no executive session planned. So I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 5:56.
Second.
All in favor?
I put the schedule